Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Bowles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy. Oh, my goodness. We're off to a good start here today. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day. It is Monday. We've made it around the block again, right? Here we go. Can y'all believe it? I mean, like, I'm going to just say it. Here we are. We're almost all the way through March, man. I mean, I know it's the 23rd, but then next week, you know what that brings along? Next week brings along, well, it's the 30th, and then we're done and we're into April. It's just hard to believe things are flying by this year. So hopefully hopefully it goes back to that country song. Y'all know it, and I say it a lot, but days days are slow and years are fast, man, and this is a perfect example of that. But hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in with me this morning. Looking forward to a great show, and appreciate Daniel this morning ahead of me, getting things rocking and rolling. And I didn't get to hear Turf Nerds this morning, or Eric and Jennifer, but I'm sure they had good shows as well. But hey, here we are rolling around Monday, March 23rd. Yes, indeedy. Hope you guys are having good weather where you're at. We got a cool start to the day today. We were up to a record high yesterday. Yeah, it was crazy. We got up to 80. I think it was 89 yesterday. It was a record high for the day and a record high for the month. And then this morning, we're down to, I don't know, somewhere in the low 40s, I think, is where we ended up. Let me look that up real quick. Yeah. 43. 43 here in the Big Ville this morning. And our high today is not going to be anywhere near what it was yesterday up there in that 90-degree range. I think we're going to be in the mid 50s today. So, you know how it is. It's at, this time of the year, no matter where you're at, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's the cycles we're doing. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. It's not raining. Had a little bit of rain and wind go through last night, and not too much. It wasn't even wet this morning at my house when I came out, but I know last night around 11:30, it was getting a little bit windy when I went to bed. I heard the wind once, but I never did hear any storms. But I know we must have had some decent wind, because this morning there were still about 1,500 people here in Jefferson County, here in the, out of power. So something happened somewhere, to say the least. So yeah. So but anyways, hey, we're out and about. We're hard at it. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. I had a really good weekend. Curious, let me know what you guys did this weekend. 502-550-8307. Yeah, curious to know what you guys did fun this weekend. Friday, I got to go out. I had a couple this weekend. I got two belated birthday presents, if you will. Um, got to go out and have a little fish and stuff with some friends. Robin and Timmy and Charlie and Caitlin went out, and we had some fish, Tabitha and I, with them, and some seafood. Robin likes the frog legs, but man, it was a good dinner. We go to this place called Mike Lenny's. Been open 102 years. So you talk about some longevity, man. There's some longevity for you. But yeah, and then Saturday night, I ended up, Tabitha and I used another birthday. Holly and Katie got me this thing for my birthday. It was pretty unique. I've never done it before. It was cooking class / date night, they called it. And the play, it's at a place here in Louisville called the Cooking Cottage. So if any of you guys, in this market want something unique to do, it was crazy. We had a guy sitting next to us that part of their weekend that they were there too. There was 14 couples in this session we went to, and you actually we made like a Manhattan style clam chowder, and then we made a cheesecake dessert, and then we made a souffle, I think you call it, like a sauce that went over some chicken, and then it was really a cool adventure. It really was, and but I had people sitting next to us were from the Chicago area, and then people just two couples down. They were in town doing this from Philadelphia. So I don't know who else might have been in there, but evidently this is a pretty popular place to go. And really, it was a fun adventure. Lasted about 2 hours. So hey, and it was called the Cooking Cottage, I think was the name of the place. So but yeah, I asked the lady next to us, how'd y'all find this place? And she said it popped up on things to do in Louisville, Kentucky on a weekend trip. So that's how they found it. So yeah, it was a good time. So I appreciate Holly and Katie getting us that. That was fun. And then also this weekend, Jackson, Tabitha's grandson, had his birthday party. Today's his actual birthday. He's 9. So happy birthday, Jackson. I know you're not listening to me, but hey, we wanted to give you a big shout out for your birthday today. He's 9 years old. So very, very, very good young man. I'll say that. Very conscientious young man, pretty daggone good manners, and mine's pretty good, but he's 9. But, you can tell. You can tell when kids get a little discipline and when they don't. But happy birthday, Jackson. I hope everything goes really special for you on your birthday. I'm sure school will probably do something special for you. And then Saturday morning, though, I got to do something really, really neat. I went with Kyle and Leslie and a couple of his children. They went and looked at a boat. And it's fun looking at boats when you're not the person buying the boat. You know, I hadn't had that opportunity for about 30 years. I'd say. So, but yeah, that was fun. They're looking to get a tri-tune boat, and so that was fun looking at those again. And I think they found one that they like, and um, sure they're going to have a lot of family fun with it if they end up pulling the trigger on it and doing it. So, uh, nice little boat. I think it's like 25 feet or something, and tri-tune, and had a 300 Yamaha on it. So the thing will probably scoot along. I said, I wonder what it goes faster, the gas gauge or the motor, when you take off. So we'll see. So let's see what Corey just sent me a text. What's he got here? Let's see. Corey, appreciate you listening, my friend. Corey said they were 10 items away from a full sellout on their bake sale. They took 140 items. Dang, good job, Corey. I bet y'all had some good stuff too, buddy, didn't you? I'm really looking forward to having an opportunity to share some indulgence with Corey on some of his homemade products because he just talks about them, and we ask him about them quite regularly. So I'm glad y'all had a good weekend with that, Corey. No doubt, buddy. So wish you the best of luck on the next one, and I hope your recovery's coming good. More importantly than all that, so we'll see how that's going for you. So let me know how that recovery's going, buddy. So keep us informed on that as well. So other than that, watched quite a bit of basketball. Y'all probably watched a little basketball too. Most people like the little bit of basketball this time of the year, even if you're not a basketball fan all year long. But you get into the March Madness side of it. And, it's just a good time, and they've a lot of good games yesterday. Both of our local teams here got beat out this weekend. University of Louisville got beat, and University of Kentucky got beat like a drum. And I think they had a record 20 turnovers. Yeah, it was a record. I mean, I knew it was a bunch, and you're watching it, and it's painful, you know. So, good deal, good deal. Corey says, "Go Vols!" Yeah, they won. They were, I think they were a lower seed. I'm trying to think who they played last night. I was watching that, and I was like, "Damn!" And then I saw them, watched them win it, Corey, and I was like, "Dang on, go Vols too, man!" You know. So hope that works out good. So, Seth, good morning to you. Good morning to you. And I appreciate you listening, my friend. So, but yeah, we had a good weekend all the way around. And then yesterday, like I said, we had a record high, got up to 89 degrees yesterday, and we were out on the deck. Got our Friday. We got our deck spring ready, if you will. Doesn't take 10 minutes to do it. Just took the covers off stuff and wiped everything down real good, and got our spring wreaths hanging up and our little stuff we sit around out there, and got it set up. We spent the day out on the deck yesterday, pretty much, and until about 4:30 when it got really rocking and roasting, and the ceiling fans weren't doing enough to keep us cool. So we thought, all right, let's go in. Because the way my house is set up, the sun rose. You're good till about 5:30, and then because it's covered about half away, I'd say you know. And once that sun gets over there and starts beaming in on you, when it's hot, regardless fans on or not. Had a couple ceiling fans rolling, and I was just blowing hot air around. So we just first time I can say got ran inside because of the heat off the deck in March. I will say that, but I don't know if that's any sign of what kind of summer we're going to have. Who knows? But John, we were talking about it. You guys know John that's on here on Turfs Up with us that texts in quite a bit, but he's up in Pennsylvania, and he said they were looking forward to some warm weather up there too. So we'll see. We'll see. Corey, glad to hear that, man. Said he's walking around gingerly, but he's getting around. Yay, he's up to 16 degrees, Daniel. Mobility. Is that good? But Daniel, not sure on that side. But what's the ultimate go on that, Corey? I mean, you say 16 degrees. You shoot? What's the goal? Let me know. Thank God, knock on wood, never had to worry about knowing anything about knees and that type of flexibility. So just it works. Corey, appreciate you asking about flooding at the lake this year, but it's still closed. We've got another year of lake closure. So I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. We've made a couple. We've made a couple reservations, for later on in the summer at the same lake, just different campground. So I don't know. We're going to find something to do this year because last year was just okay. We'll see what the heck's going on, but we'll see. Uh, let's see. Corey said anywhere above 120 is optimum. He's at 109. So, well, good deal, buddy. You'll get there. There ain't a doubt in my mind. I know you're going to keep working hard at it, just like we all work hard at letting our businesses do well and whatnot. And that's part of what we're going. We got a lot of good topics today. I'm going to talk about with you guys. Got a couple flyers from our local market that I want to talk about, and yeah, and then we got a couple topics to talk about. The one that we brought up Friday before we hopped off when with Katie and I, right? Um, thanks, Seth. I hear you, but I think they've even got a. I think Nolan has got a campground closed, or maybe something, or they're working on it still. So I don't know. Last year's floods jacked a lot of stuff up. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to do something. We'll do something. I'm not going to leave my RV sit all year long like I did last year. You know, too expensive of a toy to sit around and do nothing with it. Hell, might have to bring it home, park in that driveway, and act like the Griswolds. Just camp out there. Could bring it to the shop. We did that one time with a fifth wheel we had. We came here and God, that lasted about one time. We thought it'd be fun. That's when we were new campers, and we thought that'd be fun. And yeah, it was fun till about 3:30 in the morning when the trains went by. We didn't think about the train track being right behind our shop. So, but anyways, all right. Well, hey, we're going to take a short break. Last week we were talking about Friday. I was talking about the gentleman that signed up new and prepaid, right, and then said, "Hey, I want to see your applicator." When they come out here, and we talked about that. And the reality of that was he had about twice the property that he told our applicator he wanted service. Just in case you guys didn't hear the story on Friday, just do a quick summary of it. But so Katie talked to him, got it measured online based on what he said he wanted sprayed, but said, "Hey, when your applicator gets there, have him knock on my door," you know. And so we did that, and Mike did that, knocked on the door, and showed him about 14,000 more square feet that he wanted to get sprayed. And bottom line is, we traded it for him, and then we informed him that there was going to be a price adjustment necessary moving forward. We did honor the price that Katie had given him on the phone, even though he added quite a bit of square footage to the property. And he calls up and he says, "Well, why do I have to pay more?" And Katie told him basically that you had twice as much property when our applicator got there that you wanted sprayed. When you had him come up and see you that you showed him you wanted sprayed. And he says, "Well, I'm not going to pay that, but I'll meet you in the middle on the price difference." And the answer is absolutely no. We're not meeting you in the middle, right? I mean, it wasn't a meet me in the middle concept. I mean, it'd be different if it was $3 or $4 or $10 or something and meeting somebody in the middle. But I mean, it ended up being over $400 or so a year in more cost. And Katie said, "No, we can't do that." And he proceeded to say, "Okay, just cancel my service and give me a refund on my prepay." And we were okay with that. And the reason we didn't meet in the middle is because I want everybody to understand it'd been different if it would have been a one time discount. But that would have been a perpetual discount for as long as he's a customer of ours. So it just didn't make sense. It wasn't that we were trying to be hard to deal with. But I share that with you for this reason. He writes a negative review. I mean, you guys can go online and see it if you want to. You know, I mean, we're going to have to bury it. We'll respond to it if we haven't already. But it's like, why does a guy give you a negative review on that? I mean, we honored the price we gave him, even though we added square footage when we were there, and then gave him new pricing. So it wasn't a bait and switch. It wasn't like, "Hey, we'll do it cheap," and you know, then try to raise the price. You add it to the job. I'm just curious. I mean, do you guys think we were wrong in charging more when a customer added something to the job? It'd been no different than somebody saying, "Hey, I want to add 2 trees to this landscape, or I want to do 2 more shrubs to the landscape, or whatever." I mean, an ad's an ad. It's an add-on. And like I said, the bad thing about this lawn application situation was it was going to be a perpetual discount time after time after time. So I don't know. We made the right choice I think we did everything we could do to be fair and equitable. We honored a price that was lower than the square footage treated just out of goodwill, you know, but then he goes and gives us a negative review. And honest to God, I haven't even read it yet, but from what Katie was telling me and whatnot, I mean, I understand that, he said we came out and changed the price 60 some dollars on an application or whatever it was, you know, and I don't know. What do you think, Daniel? I mean, I think we were very legit on the way we handled it on our end.
Yeah. I mean, there's not too much more to say other
Yeah,
than this guy's just a
that guy.
piece of trash. So,
Yeah, just that guy. So I don't know. So that's when you start reaching out and trying to bury the not bury it. I mean, you don't care if people see it necessarily, but I mean,
I think that what you said, tell your part of the story on the reply.
yeah, and
We're sorry you had this experience isn't enough in this situation.
no,
You got to
no,
explain really what happened.
yeah, I
Someone's gonna try to basically lie to make you look bad.
it's just frustrating that that's what it boiled down to because I don't know that we could have done things any differently on our end to be more equitable. Corey said he goes straight to the negative reviews to see the responses from the business when he's looking something up. Oh my goodness, here we go again, right? With this is kind of like let me think of what's a good way of saying this. Let's go with the beat goes on. Let's go with the beat goes on. I'm just trying to think of something here. And I think that's it. The beat goes on. And what I mean by that is, you know, some things just aren't going to change. And they're not going to change because of the influx of new into our industry. And some of even the older that's been in the industry a while aren't going to change. And that's okay too. You know, I mean, here at Turfs Up Radio, we're not here to change anybody. We're just here to help elevate and educate the industry. So if you want to make some changes, whatever those changes may look like for you and your company, then you've got the opportunity to get some valid information to make some changes. But one that I saw here, and I guess, Daniel, it's okay to say the guy's name. He posted it in social media, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Put it out there publicly.
yeah, I mean, he put it out there, not me. I'm just spreading it around a little bit, and but this is out of Mount Washington, Kentucky, which is just a suburb of Louisville. I mean, we take care of a lot of properties in Mount Washington, actually. But this guy, and it's Jay's Precision Lawn Care and Property Maintenance. And Jay, if you're listening by chance, man, I am not making fun. I'm just saying, think of something different, maybe. But the answer was, somebody had posted about lawn care up in Mount Washington, and this other guy put a very nice card up, Austin Talby. Wonder if that's that Austin Talby that you went to school with.
Probably. I mean, it's not, doesn't seem like a super common name.
It's not, yeah. He's got a nice little Talby Contracting and insured and licensed, is what his says. Okay. And then we've got Jay's Precision Lawn Care, and his comment to everybody out there in social media land in Mount Washington is, I will do it cheaper than anyone else will. So there we go. The beat goes on. There it is again, Daniel. I'll do it cheaper than everybody else. And I know the mindset is, hey, I'm small. I can do it cheaper and I'll do it cheaper. But we got to stop doing that to ourselves. We got to stop, and if you don't want to stop doing it to yourself, stop doing it to the industry. Now, I know nobody out there that's in business for themselves is doing it for the industry. So, right. So me saying, please don't do it for the industry, that nobody cares for that reason. Right. I mean, that's
yeah,
the reality.
Number one is you. So stop doing it for yourself. Stop doing it to yourself. That's the thing. Stop doing it to yourself.
And at least this other guy that's on here with them, Bo Kurtzinger, says reasonable prices and very reliable. Fair enough. Reasonable prices. What's reasonable is going to be based on the buyer and the seller, what they perceive as being a reasonable price. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I mean, realistically, I don't know how many more there were, didn't print them all off, but I don't know how many more there were, but I do know that, I will do it cheaper than anybody else will. You need to worry a little bit about that mindset. And you think, well, Wayne, that guy's really not going to hurt any of us. Well, yeah, he's going to be limited in the volume of work they can do, but still, and he probably won't last long. I'm making a lot of assumptions here.
Not like that. That's for sure. Not doing it that way.
But the thing is, maybe he's got a full-time job and he's doing this part-time. Who knows? But just to say you're going to do it cheaper than anybody else will, I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. But
is that a guarantee?
Yeah, really. How far does that go?
Because if I'm the person that's hiring this guy, I'm just going to go pretend like I know somebody that else is doing it, print out a bill or an estimate, and say, oh, well, this guy's doing it for $200 less. I thought you said you were going to do it for less. Can you?
Yeah.
Like what? How far does that go?
How far does where does that end? So if that's anybody listening to this on a podcast, I know it's none of our live listeners, but if this is anybody listening to us on our podcast, change the mindset. That's all I say. Just change your mindset a little bit. And here's another one, a little bit different, or a whole lot different. Mike says saying that in a post just is just lazy. Yeah, just wanting a phone call, make the phone ring, kind of thing, you know. But this other one's a picture of a flyer, and I'll show it to you guys on YouTube. Picture of a flyer, and this, honestly, Daniel, this is the first time in my life I've seen this. There's a lot, for 47 years in this industry, I've never seen this. So it says, need a mow? Call Chris's Lawn Care. Weekly and bi weekly. Every fourth cut is, what do you think is the answer?
Free, I guess.
Free. Every fourth cut is free. So you all know your own market. I know my market. Okay. So that's the one I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about my market and what I know. And what that translates to in my market is 9 cuts a year are going to be offered free by this guy.
So basically, you're going to cut for 2 months for free.
You're going to cut grass for 2 months for free. Now, let's look at just what that really means. Let's just say, I don't want to make up too many scenarios and numbers, but what bothers me sometimes, but not as much, is hey, first cut free. Because first cut free can relate to, okay, my customer acquisition cost is less than the cost of giving a mowing away to build my base. Okay. But when you're giving every fourth cut free, even if you're making, let's put people that do this kind of stuff in the same category, and we're going to put them somewhere where they're probably not, and that is in the highest of percentage of profitability based on an industry standard. You guys know what I think about industry standards, but so let's say they're in that 20% fact on mowing of true bottom line profit. 20% profit is in our market. Let's say you got 37 services, just to make it make sense, or 36, just to make it easy math. 36, you're giving 9 of those away, right? So what's that take us to? 27? So 27 billable services. 27 billable services that you got to get that 20% profit off of that you didn't bill. Is that still making sense, Daniel?
I think so. You're basically, you need this amount of
You
money.
got to
Now it's
recover
divided
it.
by 27 instead of 36.
Correct. So what are you really prostituting your own profit margin down to? I mean, that's going to be based on whatever you're charging. For some, you may be taking your profit for the year completely out of the job by doing something like that. Because let's just say a guy's at $50 a cut to make it easy. I don't have a calculator, but let's see. Yeah, I do. I've got a phone, right? I've got a phone. Let's see. If we take 50 times 36, that's $1,800 times 20% is $360. So I'm losing money. So I got $360 potential profit on a normal season, but I'm not billing all 36 services, right? I'm only billing 27. So I'm billing, right? I mean, I just want to make sure I'm thinking this. I didn't practice this. So if I'm only billing 27 services at $50, my total billing on the year is $1,350 times 20% is $270 potential profit on that 1370. And
You could,
I'm
you,
and I'm
go ahead.
and I'm giving away 360. So I'm mowing all year for free and losing some with every fourth cut free. What do you think of that?
Would it not be more though that you're losing?
Oh, absolutely, you're losing more, but that's just in a very crude, rudimentary way of saying, hey, I'm going to bill this much
Because you're not also billing
is the true
the
cost to do the
cost.
job of the nine
Right.
that you're giving away
Which, if we even estimated that
at
on a $50 cut, let's just say at a
at
typical.
at 80% because we're saying we got a
Yeah.
20% net.
Yeah.
So that's 40.
So,
It gets worse as you go in reality, you know? So realistically, you're going to be billing 50 times 27, $1,350. So if you take 20% off of 50, that's $10. So 40 it cost, right? Yeah, 20%. Yeah. It's just a terrible situation that this guy's positioned himself into. But he's thinking, hey, I can give away it'll be worth it to build my customer base when it's really not.
now, what you could potentially try is a little trick, right? If you wanted to play the game of we're going to look like we're giving a lot of stuff away, is figure out your costs based on 27 mowings and then
And
give
raise the price.
everything, every fourth one away.
That would be that would be a way of doing it. That would absolutely be a way of doing it. So you're just charging more for the ones you're doing,
Right.
which is exactly what we talk about too here. Profits Unlimited is let frequency dictate the price. Not, hey, it's $50 a mow. Well, hey, if I'm going to do it 27 times, then my 50 becomes a different number.
Yeah.
That's what Daniel's point is here for you guys that maybe tuned in halfway through this. That, hey, that could be the method behind the madness is, hey, I'll just raise my price on my 27 of them, give you every fourth one free, and now I'll become more competitive when you look at, well, the total cost for the year. So, but why put yourself through all that? Why put yourself through it?
It's an unfortunate
I mean,
it's an unfortunate uh like it's an unfortunate trick or mindset that you have like half the equation, but you just don't have the other half of knowing if slash why this doesn't work, right? Like you have a great idea, what you think is a great idea, but what you don't know and realize is how to set up that great idea to actually work for you.
right,
Like sure, like we were talking about, if you want to make your cost and price based on 27 and try to sell it for more, but feel like you're giving somebody something for free and see if that model works, but know that each customer, you're still like profiting off of each customer this percent, blah, 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 and so on, number side of it, then that's like at least a business model that can work for both parties. It kind of goes back to that fair thing. Like the customer and the contractor can both win on this.
right.
But when you think you're doing something to set your business up for success and get more calls and customers, but you don't understand why it's not going to work long term, that's where it's the unfortunate part comes in is just not understanding that side
You
of it.
just, it goes back to you don't know what you don't know. Fred brings up an excellent point, and we've beat around the bush to it. We just hadn't gotten there. But he says it's another guy that thinks his 60% gross profit is the net profit.
Yeah.
So he's thinking, hey, man, I can give this away and still have some left.
Yeah. Or that's what we can at least hope.
That's that's
That's kind of like the knowing a little bit and thinking you know more than you know.
yeah.
That's kind of like step one in a sense. So let's at least hope this person is there, and then maybe someday they'll continue to learn and figure out the rest of the equation. But
Yeah. And I got one more that I want to talk about, and then we'll move on. But here's another flyer. I'll show it here to guys on YouTube. Okay. Here it is. And this goes back to Daniel. And Daniel hadn't seen these yet, but he's heard them enough in conversations and seminars and whatnot. But the reality of it is, it again, the beat goes on. This is T&J Lawn Service, serving residential and commercial customers in Bardstown, Cox's Creek, and Mount Washington. Here you go. We charge $1 a minute with no hidden charges.
There you go. Half that's great.
The no hidden charges.
Yeah. I mean, that can get somebody's attention, I think, at least in a positive way.
Yeah, yeah. $1 a minute. Now, so he's back at that $60 an hour. And what I want to say for you guys, when when you think about that $60 an hour thing, $1 a minute, because that's out there on social media, that $60 an hour or that $1 a minute mindset has literally been out there since the 1980s. Seriously, Daniel.
Yeah. No, I know. I've heard you say it. It's just
That Rory
20 years ago, that was crazy. And that was 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's at 45 years, 46 years.
There was a guy named Rory Rubenstahl. He's passed away now. God rest his soul, here in Louisville, Kentucky. He wrote a book back in the 80s called How to Make $60 an Hour and Be the Low Bidder. And that was based on $1 a minute. How in God's name can that possibly be correct? It can't be is the answer.
It's not. And it's crazy that someone would possibly think that it's possible to charge the same money 40, half a century ago almost,
Yeah.
that you can do today. Like, even if you don't know anything about business, surely you've ever bought something and gone, oh, well, 5 years ago, this whatever was less money than it is today. Wonder why?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to understand that concept. I get it if you don't understand net profit and, like, gross and all these terms that are economical, and, like, sure, if you're running a business, you should know these things, but, like, I can get it. But you should know that if if something has been around for even 10 years, if this person's, not even aware of that, but maybe they grew up and that's what they paid or that's what their parents paid or whatever, like, you should at least know that things get more expensive over time. They don't stay the same.
Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Not even
I mean,
economics at that point. It's
it
just
doesn't even
common
make
sense.
sense. It doesn't even make sense. And unfortunately, those of us that have a little bit of an understanding on what we're doing and why we're doing it and how we're doing it, it does affect us, because the problem is, you know, we look at that as an industry or as a consumer. Let's take it to just at the consumer level. We look at that at a consumer, and there's so many of these people, the contractors like that are that $1 a minute guy, or we'll do it cheaper, or tell us what you're paying, we'll beat the price. There's so much of that mindset out there that individually they own a very small percentage of the market, but collectively
Yeah.
it influences what the perception of the market is for the consumer. And that's why you got to change your company. You cannot change anybody else's company. It took me 9 years to figure that out. It took me 9 years that no matter what Wayne Vose did, I could not make Daniel change the way he was running his business. But what I could do, the only thing I have control of is my own business, just like you. So you can say, man, well, what are you going to do about it? Well, what you're going to do about it is make sure that you're doing your side right, because that's the only one that does really matter. And, when you get to the point that that's what's important to you, then that'll be important to you. But until that point, it's not going to be important to you, and it's not going to matter. We're going to wrap this up, but had two other really good topics we were going to try to get into today. Didn't make it, but guess what? We will Wednesday, I promise. One, again, I want you to think about it a little bit. But I think you're going to enjoy our topics on Wednesday. This is just kind of like a little dangling carrot out there for you guys, but we're going to have fun with it Wednesday, and we're going to talk about, and think about it a little bit. And again, on last Friday, I told you to think about it. We'd do it today, but we'll lead with it Wednesday. Would you rather train somebody with zero experience or hire somebody who already knows the trade but has bad habits? But before you answer, there's a real quick, easy answer in our mind to go either way potentially. But think about it a little bit, and we're going to talk about that Wednesday, because I think we can come up with a lot of different answers, not just the one that seems like it makes the most sense out in front of our minds and our eyes, when we look at that. So. Hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate all the input from you all. I appreciate you listening every day here on Turfs Up Radio. Be sure to share Turfs Up Radio with your friends and colleagues, because like I said, we're here not to change anybody's mind. We're just here to give you some ideas so you have some more knowledge to make a really better, well-informed decision. And maybe that decision is, hey, the way I'm doing it's the way I'm going to do it. It makes sense. And hey, appreciate it, Turfs Up. But hey, and I appreciate it, Wayne or Daniel or whoever you like here on Turfs Up, or all of us, and that's okay. But we just want to give you the knowledge so you can make a more well-informed decision, a better informed decision from contractors that are doing what you're doing. And some of us have been doing it a really long time. But just because we've been doing it a really long time doesn't mean we're right. But it also doesn't mean we're wrong. So be open-minded. That's something, that took me a long time to learn too in this industry and in business in general, that, yes, it's your business, it's your way or the highway. But also there's a lot of good ideas out there. We just got to be careful on where we get the information that we're willing to listen to and implement within our own company. So we appreciate you listening to Turfs Up Radio. We'd love to have you guys in the Profit Circle with us. And we have a lot of exclusive content in the Profit Circle that's nowhere else on our social media. We just able to get much more depth there. So appreciate you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you Wednesday. And remember, profit is not a dirty word.